Welcome in to another Aries Alert Show. I am your host, Salt Aries. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you're starting out for you. We're new in the new year, so hopefully your year is going well. If it's not, hopefully it turns around for you. This is what I'm going to do before we get into things. I'm going to go to exhibition because this is a podcast day today on this stream, so I'm not going to use the Buccaneers. I'm going to go and put the Packers versus... who they playing? The 49ers, right? So let's run it. Packers, 49ers. Let's bump the time up from 6 minutes. 6 minutes to be about a 30-minute game. Let's bump it up to about 7 minutes. If we need to run another game, I will. But just so we have something in the background, it's about 4 o'clock. We'll let that go. We'll advance to the game. So we have something running in the background for the people. Let me turn my computer down. So we have something running in the background. Oh, gotta turn my TV down as well. Let me, just so we have something running in the background for those that want to watch something while they're listening. Not all people want to just basically listen outright. So I want to welcome you in to the first Aries Alert Show of 2022. I'm hyped for it. The year is starting off good for me. I have some things planned for the brand that I'll be getting into. I have some things I'm looking into. Let me disconnect these headphones. I have some things that I'm planning on and some comments. I have some comments and some thoughts on some topics we talked about earlier. But the mini cast that I did earlier, as you know, mini cast are mini casts. They're, supposed to be 30 and 35 minutes and something like that. I don't know how long I'm going to go with these topics. I'm just going to give my impressions and my thoughts and maybe pull down some information online to be able to give you more understanding of it. And I'm going to give my opinions and thoughts on it, and then I'm going to get you up out of here. So the first topic, what have I been up to? So in the start of this year, around the holidays, I had some family time. I took a step back from making as many videos as I did. I really wanted to enjoy the holidays with family and friends, but if you look close at SR51 Media and myself, Salt Aries, I was still pumping out videos when a lot of people were on break. A lot of people decided to say, okay, I'm not making videos, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And then now, because there's like a lot of news, people are jumping back in, to basically capitalize on it. Myself, I don't really worry too much about proving myself, because one of the things that I realized and what I've been up to is I have a vast library of videos. So what I've been up to is making things more presentable, essentially. If you notice on the channel, on the YouTube channel where you're watching this now, there's a lot of playlists. There's the Titanfall franchise, there's the Titanfall franchise, there's the Assassin's Creed franchise, there's the Battlefield franchise, there's the Madden franchise, there's the 2K franchise, and there's more playlists on top of that. So when you come to the channel, instead of having to come to the channel and just watch, video after video that I put up and everything's just all over the place, I make sure now that when I make a video to put it in the category of where it's going to be, so you can go to that playlist and basically watch that video without having to essentially stumble around and look for videos. So I've been up to, and also behind the scenes, I've been up to some things that I'm going to keep under wraps. I'm still working on. There's some things that I have planned, little things that I'll go into, but some of the major stuff I'm going to keep a little bit to myself, mainly because of the fact that I'm still exploring my options in it. So the second topic, what have I been playing? So recently I just bought a Seagate expansion hard drive. I did not purchase, if you did not know, I did not purchase the expansion card that you put in the Xbox. What I purchased was a Seagate expansion drive for Xbox Series X and S that has about 4 terabytes on it. I got it, if I remember, for, I want to say about $100. And the expansion drive for like 500 gigabytes was like $139. The 2 terabyte one was like $200, close to $300. So it wasn't so much of a price thing as it was of what I felt I was getting. When I first got the expansion drive, I thought to myself, like, wow, I'm not going to be able to play a lot of the titles that I want to play. Excuse me, I'm still dealing with a little bit of a cold. I'm not going to be able to play some of the titles I want to play unless I transfer them back to Xbox. But one of the things that really stood out to me that I think has to be talked about is when you buy an expansion hard drive, you can't play Xbox Series X and S games off of it, but most games that you're playing aren't exclusively Xbox Series X and S. You know, like Assassin's Creed, just talking about some of the games I jumped back into, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I re-downloaded Overwatch. I'm downloading again Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Outer Worlds. There's a lot of games that when I didn't have my hard drive, I only had access to the 4 or 5 games that I had. So you saw the content kind of reflect basically me playing Madden, Street Outlaws, and Battlefield. But now all these other games have been added back to the game library to be able to be played. My content will be changing up as far as what games there is. Some days it might be this game. How I operate is when I get up in the morning, or when I get to when I get to the seat of the command center, basically I play what I feel. Okay, I play the game that I'm feeling. I play what I like, because I feel as though if you try to put yourself in a box and try to be like everybody else, saying, okay, well, everybody's playing Fortnite to try to be the new Ninja, or everybody's playing this game to try to be the new Shroud or something. I think that basically what you're doing is devaluing your content. Like, one of the main things that I stand on when I'm playing games is I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So regardless of the outcome, whether people watch it, if they tip it, if they subscribe or anything like that, I still enjoy what I'm doing, you know? So for me, these games that I've been playing have been amazing to jump back in. I downloaded Saints Row 1. I bought it on a sale and I downloaded it, and I'm having immense fun. You know, it's taking me back to, I think the game released in 2000 something or earlier than that. And basically, you know, it's been super fun. It's gotten me back into the Saints Row world of protecting a role player, and basically, you know, it's gonna hold me off. I think these games are fun to play. Now, keep in mind, I've already beat them. One, two, I beat 1, 2, and 3, and I played Re-elected, the one with the superpowers, but I didn't beat that one, and I didn't beat Get Out of Hell. But the mainline Saints Row games, 1, 2, 3, and I think there was only 3 or 4 or something like that. But basically, I beat all the mainline ones except for the alien invasion one and Got Out of Hell. So jumping back into this game, you know, it's fun to play around and everything, but I'm not pressing myself to say, okay, I need to finish this game, or I need to finish all these games before Saints Row comes out. I'm going to be getting into later about what games I'm actually looking forward to and which ones are day ones, and I think it'll explain a little bit more of why I've created these categories for Saints Row, Battlefield, and other games and stuff like that. So the next topic, what are some plans for SR51 Media in 2022? Okay, so one of the first plans that I have is to bring more podcasts. I think that a little bit last year I relied a lot heavily on just gaming and basically just gaming. And I think that, to be honest with you, to be completely honest to the 51 Dynasties, I do believe there's not enough gaming going on. I think there's a lot of talking. You see what I'm saying? I think a lot of people don't own Xboxes, they don't subscribe to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, they're not subscribed to EA Access, they don't play these games, but they have, you know, 5-hour podcasts talking about it, or, you know, they have 10-hour podcasts talking, but they're not subscribers. You know, I'm just gonna tell you straight up, I've been on Xbox since the original Xbox. I still got my, if I'm not mistaken, yep, still got my original Xbox over here under my shelf, under my table, you know, just because of the fact that that's where it is. I'm currently gaming on the Xbox Series S. I'm loving everything that's coming along with it. And basically, as far as just some of the games that, talking about going in 2022, some of the games that I'm looking forward to is another topic. So I don't want to jump into that one, and I also don't want to stagnate on the topics. Like, once I get across my points, I'm going to be moving on to the next one. I feel as though last year things can get a little emotional because of the fact that you're talking about something. Is, you know, it's like your favorite sports team, basically. Xbox is my team. Xbox and Nintendo is my teams, and some other people may be PC, Nintendo, mobile. You know, everybody has their teams. So I think that you have to respect everybody's squad and basically realize that just because you're on one side, that you don't have to make content against the other side. Like, if you look back at all my content from 2021, all my content was gaming and news related to Xbox and Nintendo. None of the time during the year did you hear me quote sales charts and sale numbers and Metacritic scores and all this, because I feel as though myself as a gamer, none of that matters. Okay, like, don't get me wrong, when you buy a massive multiplayer online game, you got to make sure that there's a fan base there to play it. but the majority of the time, like, all right, prime example with Battlefield, before we get into the next topic, with Battlefield 2042, right? With Battlefield 20, I got my tablet up a little bit. The noise seems to be coming through. Um, with Battlefield 2042, a lot of people were downplaying the game and basically, you know, talking down on it and talking about how bad it is. Now Battlefield is, you know, of course, getting better with the months that's out. They're talking about new content that's coming to the game. There's new updates that's going to be coming out for it. I think that the game is turning out very well. I think it was good when it came out. I just think that at the same time, some people allow outside sources to dictate their enjoyment. You know, I bumped into my hand of God. Shout out to the GameStop worker around here. I bumped into a GameStop worker that asked me, "So what you been playing?" Surprisingly, you know, when I was making a purchase, and I'm like, "Oh, I've been playing this game, Battlefield 2042." Then they asked me, "Oh, I've been thinking about getting that game. Is it good?" And I'm like, "Look, straight like this. That game is fun. They got a mode in there where it's 64 on 64, massive battlefields, hella vehicles. You can be whatever you want to be. You could be a sniper. You could be an infantry guy. You could be a pilot. You could be a tank runner. You could be whatever you want to be. You could be a drone pilot. Myself, I'm a drone pilot with Casper. You know, what I did was whenever I'm asked about Xbox or whenever I'm asked about games, I always give my honest opinion. I don't crush down on the competition just to give my opinion. I think that happens a lot. A lot of people will say this is good, but this isn't good, and this is why you should buy this. That's not how it operates with me. With me, I'm going to tell you all the facts and all the stuff that I can pull down about the topic, and then I'm going to leave the decision up to you because I feel as though you have to respect. That's why I call you guys and gals the 51 dynasties, because we are all our own dynasties, okay? However way it may come. You may be a dynasty when it comes to gaming. You may be a dynasty when it comes to a different craft that you keep to yourself. You know, you may just be a dynasty as far as a viewer. You may be a viewer that donates hard-earned money to streamers that you really like. You know, that's important when it comes to game streaming as well. The audience is just as important as the gamer. So, you know, basically going into 2022, I'm looking to bring more of that, bring more Xbox and Nintendo news, while also bringing in possibly some sports news, and at the same time, continuing to game. That's one thing that you don't have to worry about in 2022. I'm not going to become like some of these other guys where it's basically, you know, podcast and non-gaming. I'm gaming first, okay? I will game typically before I will do a podcast. Like, the only reason why I started the Aries Alert show instead of starting the stream is because I think I've published it. I'm already, if I'm not mistaken, I already published a video yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. So I felt it was good to kind of discuss some of the topics that's going on in a little bit of length, because when I did the 51 minicast, I was in a situation where I was working against the clock. So I was able to talk a little bit, but I had to run out and do some things. So I had to kind of leave it to where it is. So I felt it was best to kind of bring it up today in the Aries Alert show. So the next topic, big news if you haven't heard it. Xbox buys Activision, Blizzard, and King. Now I'm going to come over to, because I have my tablet set up for this, I'm going to come over to Twitter as soon as I can find it. Okay, I'm going to come over to Twitter just so I know I'm calling this correctly and I'm not what do you call it? Just so I know I'm calling this correctly and I'm not just saying things to say it. Okay, let me make sure I pulled it up. Okay, so Xbox buys Activision, Blizzard, and King. Now, some of the highlight games that was bought in this deal is Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, and StarCraft. Now, for the time being, okay, I'm just gonna explain a little bit about where I'm coming from with some of these games. First off, let me say this. This was an amazing move, okay? I think a lot of people, it's kind of like, in a way, I don't want to say it's bullying, but in a way there is kind of like a back and forth, you know, between PlayStation guys and Xbox guys, and, you know, that naturally happens. People have to understand that typically with anything, when I was a kid, that's just how we are as human nature. Some people are gonna like oranges, some people are gonna like apples. You know, it is what it is. Some people like the Eagles, some people like the Cowboys. There's plenty of people that live in the city of Philadelphia that like the Dallas Cowboys. Hell, there's plenty of people that live across the country that like football teams that they've never lived in the city of. You know, it's just, it is what it is. You get attracted to what you get attracted to. So when it comes to gaming, gaming is going to be the same way. That's why I never really punch down or talk crap about the guys that cover the console war stuff, because some of them are entertaining. Some of them do have news. I'm not going to sit up here and say that it's not entertaining. I just feel that the facts need to be talked about just as much as theories and what you think is going to happen, or because you're a PlayStation guy, what you think is going to go down. Like, let's stick to the facts here, okay? And one of the main facts that we have to put out here, because I can pull this back up, is, and the big question, well, actually, I'm not going to jump into that right away because that's another topic. But the big question people were asking was, okay, so what does this mean for these games? So what this means, well, okay, what this means, and I was looking at the topic to see if it tagged into it. What this means is Activision, Blizzard, and King are owned by Xbox. This is not a partnership, okay? This is not Xbox is going to be working with Call of Duty to get the marketing rights, or they're going to be working with, one second while I grab a vape. They're not going to be working with Xbox to get marketing rights. They're not working with Xbox to get exclusive content. They own them, okay? And here's the thing about it. I'm happy about it, okay? Just speaking on Call of Duty, it seems to me that the last Call of Duty that I purchased, that I can find in my purchases, is Call of Duty 2, okay? Now, there's a reason for this that I've already stated previously, okay? Before you think like, well, you don't even play Call of Duty. Hold on a minute, okay? Let's jump into this next topic. What games do they make that I like? Okay, prime example. I've played and loved Call of Duty Black Ops 1, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Call of Duty Modern Warfare back in the day, the next Modern Warfare that they made, Infinity War that they came out with. So I have been playing Call of Duty games. One of the things I like about Call of Duty games is the fact that they have an amazing story, okay? I think that they're games that have an amazing story and a good multiplayer make a good purchase, okay? That's why I like the game. When you look at Overwatch, another game that's under the purchase umbrella, I have over 10 hours or over 20 hours into Overwatch. Okay, I have over 100 matches won, and I have over 100 matches played, and a high player score. All right, DVA is my favorite character. Basically, a woman with a robot. I don't know why. I just like her. You know, one of my favorite characters. Now, I know there's a lot of new characters that came out, but I like to stick to the classics. If you look back on my channel and the channel that I had before this, you will find Overwatch live streams from 5 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Just me straight up live streaming Overwatch. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because a lot of people that are commenting, and this is for the 51 Dynasties, you're going to hear a lot of people start to talk negative, okay? A lot of people are going to start to try to talk down about Call of Duty. They're going to talk down about Overwatch. They're going to talk any game that was under this umbrella window that Xbox purchased is going to be talked down about, okay? It's already starting. I hear people now, well, I necessarily myself don't play Call of Duty and Overwatch. I used to play that and did it. It's like, here's the thing. You have to understand, Xbox is not just gearing towards, like, to be honest with you, Xbox doesn't worry about PlayStation gamers. We as Xbox gamers don't worry about PlayStation gamers. Like, it's great. Do your thing. If you're a PlayStation guy, that's your choice, right? But at the same time, as Xbox gamers, and this ties into the next topic, how does this affect us Xbox gamers and consumers? It makes things better for us. You see what I'm saying? Like, what ends up happening is, by Xbox, also they bought Crash Bandicoot. They bought Spyro the Dragon. So, like, when they want to make, let's say, a child-friendly game. Some people have kids, and hell, some people just don't like playing violent video games or whatever. You have Crash Bandicoot. You have Spyro the Dragon. You have Lucky Tales. You have Grounded. Like, you see how, well, I shouldn't say Grounded, but let's say Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, and Super Lucky's Tales. These are three characters right here that can become the kid mascots for Xbox. So what that means is when a parent goes to say, okay, I want to buy, my child is not speaking on children or anything like that, but my child is very small and I don't want them playing violent video games. I want them to play something childish. You buy an Xbox, they're playing Crash. What kid, most kids still to this day like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Super Lucky Tales. These are those style games. Now, for somebody like me, I might play them for a little bit and walk away. But for somebody else's child or even adults, they're going to buy those games. And now those game sales go to Xbox. Now, don't take it the wrong way. This is not a sales conversation. This is not like I'm like, okay, these are numbers that they did. What I'm trying to say is it's a console seller. Yes, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, all that is console sellers because now they're being made under one umbrella. Okay, so when you sit back and understand, yes, there will be a Crash Bandicoot game coming. If I had to guess, excuse me, like I said, still battling a cold. If I had to guess, when we get a new Crash Bandicoot game, that's exclusive. Now, exclusive, okay, exclusive is something that ties into the next topic as well. Do I believe that these games are going to be exclusive? Now, here's the thing about it, okay? Taking this into consideration, I am going to go to the internet right now, okay, while we're still in stream, okay, and I'm just gonna type it in. I'm gonna do what you could do, right? Like what you could do on your own. Will Activision games be? I didn't even have to finish typing it. Google, I have it. Will Activision games be? Will Activision games be exclusive to Xbox? Okay. And then first one up here today, I think it's Polygon. So I'm just gonna pull here and see if I can find an article in here. But so So what they're saying is you have a mixed bag, okay? So one of it says Microsoft isn't saying for now Microsoft game. It says, but what does Microsoft buying Activision mean for players on other platforms? Will games like Call of Duty, Overwatch become Xbox console exclusive? Microsoft isn't saying for now. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer recently promoted from head of Xbox said in a prepared statement that when his company acquisition of Activision Blizzard closes, we will offer as many Activision Blizzard games as we can within Game Pass, both new titles and games from Activision Blizzard's incredible catalog. It's unclear what could limit It's unclear what could limit Microsoft from offering all of Activision Blizzard games through Game Pass, but World of Warcraft, which has its own subscription-based model, could be excluded from Microsoft plans. According to a report from Bloomberg citing sources, Microsoft plans to continue making some of Activision games for PlayStation consoles, but will make some content exclusive to Xbox. Addressing players of Activision Blizzard, Addressing players of Activision Blizzard games on PlayStation platforms, Spencer said in an interview with Bloomberg, "It's not our intent to pull communities away from the platform, and we recommend commitment." It's not our intent to pull communities away from the platform, and we remained committed to that. That report did not mention Nintendo Switch platforms, where Blizzard games like Overwatch and Diablo 3 have been released in years. Okay, the approach sounds different from Microsoft's plans for Bethesda's. The approach sounds different from Microsoft's plans for Bethesda Softworks games like Starfield, The Elder Scrolls 6 only to Xbox consoles after acquiring partner company ZeniMax in 2022. After Microsoft's acquisition, one second. Okay. So what I was saying was I read that part. So it says Spencer said it would be on a decision. Spencer said it would be a decision on case by case basis whether to bring games from Bethesda, ID Software, Machine Games, Arcane Studios, and others to third party platforms like PlayStation 5 and Switch. Microsoft ultimately decided to keep games like Starfield due this November exclusive to Xbox Series X and Windows PC as an incentive to Game Pass subscribers. Now, what that was that was just a general Google search of are these games going to be exclusive. Here's the thing about it. I'm a part of groups in different social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all sorts of stuff. Okay. And one of the things that I saw before this deal went through was a lot of people selling their PlayStation 4 to get an Xbox Series S or Xbox Series X because they said they wanted it for Call of Duty. Now, how word got out before it actually was announced, I don't know. Could have been somebody that had a family member that worked at Microsoft. I don't know. But if I want to put it to you honestly, I think, like Phil Spencer said, it's going to be a case by case basis. I think a lot of people right now are hypocrites. I'm just going to call it straight up hypocrites. Because when Spider-Man released not even a couple of years ago, right? Think about this. Spider-Man is a damn comic book hero, okay? This dude has no real allegiance to anybody. They don't own Marvel. They don't own Disney. They don't, don't get me wrong, they own Sony Pictures and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they own, you know, the Spider-Man thing or however way that goes. But when you look at it, they don't own Wolverine. Like, if you was to argue right now, well, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man. Okay, I'll give you that in a movie standpoint. But they shouldn't own the rights in a gaming standpoint, because what that does is that puts Spider-Man exclusive to just PlayStation. Remember last Christmas past? Not this one that just passed now, but remember the Christmas before that where everybody was like, man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. If you want to play Spider-Man, you got to get a PlayStation. That's where it is. Da, 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 da. Okay, now let's keep that in mind, right? Then we go into E3 last year. These guys are like, the new Spider-Man coming. We got Venom. We got Spider-Man Miles Morales. We got Spider-Man. Then you got Wolverine. Now, how does Wolverine, a game that's not even a part of the whole Sony Picture ownership, get exclusive to just PlayStation 5? To me, I was like, I told you, I'm pretty sure in streams I've said it. It's going to be a good game. Wolverine's going to be a good game. Spider-Man is going to be a good game. But what ended up happening here was, and I'm just being honest, and I've said this previously, I don't have to prove myself on this, okay? 5 or 6 years ago, I told you guys we were in a tech war, all right? Not just with Xbox and PlayStation, but all of these niggas, okay? These companies are going to war. They have always been in war. But the new ramp up of it's like the new battle, They've had previous battles where some of Xbox has won some, PlayStation has won some, Nintendo have won some, hell, even Apple, Google, and Amazon have won some. But what is going on now is with this deal, okay, and how I feel as though it affects it is, I think whether the game, you have to keep in mind, it's Xbox call. You see what I'm saying? If Xbox basically wants them to be, if Xbox wants them to be exclusive, because people were talking about, well, Call of Duty makes this much money, and if they make it exclusive, let me get a vape 1 second. Grab a smooth vape here. Call of Duty, and I mean, Spider-Man, man, you want Spider-Man, you gotta get a PlayStation, and you gotta have a PlayStation. This was one of the things that was rubbed in our face for like a whole year, Oh man, y'all, what games? What's the title that everybody was running? Xbox ain't got no games. Xbox ain't got no games. Okay, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure some executive, it's like a sports team, right? As the owner, because Xbox, as far as an owner, I would classify as like Bill Gates, right? But as far as the GM at Xbox is basically Phil Spencer. So the GM in the off season, because we're kind of in the off season right now before the next E3, because that's where a lot of titles get announced as E3, right? Before the next E3, Phil Spencer went out here and pulled a heavyweight knockout. You see what I'm saying? He stepped to Bethesda, he bought them. He stepped to Activision and he bought them. So what that does for us is it puts us in a situation where we don't have to worry about it. See, who's worried about this right now are PlayStation owners. People, like a lot of people are downplaying Call of Duty, but you have to understand that if you want to be technical about it, and I'm willing to make a statement right now. I have enjoyed, I love Halo. Okay, I have no problems with Halo. Great game, great franchise, feel as though it's one of the best of all time. But I love Call of Duty as well. And if I had to be honest, I like some of the things that Call of Duty does over Halo. Like when Call of Duty makes stories, their stories are like impactful. You know, I still remember, I think it was Black Ops 2, I think, I think it was like Black Ops 2 or something like that, where I was making my way up the stairs in a house with the team, and we was basically trying to go room to room, and it was intense. You know, you're in the story, but you have a team with you, but they're telling you this story, okay? So now that we're in that situation where Xbox owns these guys, what's going to end up happening, what I already knew, when I saw the deal, the first thing I thought about was, I was like, yo, this is great for Xbox. Okay, because if you want to be technical about it, 9 times out of 10, just to call it fair, Overwatch 2 is not coming out before this deal is done. I could be wrong. Excuse me. I could be completely wrong. All right, I'm leaving all of this open. I'm not claiming to be an insider. I don't really deal in rumors and stuff. I'm just going off of what I think is going to happen in this tech war, and I have been right sometimes. When you look at Overwatch, Overwatch is coming out with a new game, Overwatch 2. Okay, now what they said was that this deal may be done at the latest June 20 something of 2023. Okay, now you're in 2022 right now. Now let's say Overwatch 2 is being worked on. If I had to guess, they're gonna wait till after this deal to release that game. Okay, so that way that game goes directly into Game Pass, or I'm guessing, who knows? We might get that game day one on Game Pass. We might get a discount. I don't know, but there is a possibility that we get that game day one in Game Pass, okay? Call of Duty. I would be surprised if Call of Duty is not free to us, okay? Like in the sense of when they come out with the new, not the Warzone thing, not the PUBG clone, because I'm going to call it fair. I was still am an avid PUBG player and stuff like that, and one of the things I noticed was everybody copied PUBG's thing with the whole chicken dinner chasing and 1 versus 100 and stuff like that. So Warzone, what I'm hearing from a lot of people, and I don't believe what they're saying, is a lot of people are like, well, Warzone ain't going nowhere, and also at the same time, Warzone may not be going nowhere, and Call of Duty may do this. You have to understand, Call of Duty sells units, okay? You, as a 30, 40, or whatever age you are, gamer, may be hesitant to buy Call of Duty, but minors and teenagers and stuff like that aren't. You know, people that are active Call of Duty, like literally, I know some people that don't play nothing but Call of Duty. Okay, they don't buy other games, they buy sports titles and Call of Duty. If they hear that their console no longer gets map packs, no longer gets content, no longer gets there was even a rumor floating around today, you know, because this isn't going to be the last information I put out about this. That's why I'm not going into it too deep. I'm just, you know, grazing across the top because I will be talking about it in later streams and stuff. But the thing of it is, it's created a FOMO effect, fear of missing out, you know, because basically and that's a crypto term if you don't know, you know, but at the same time, the reason why I say that is because now when you are going to make that purchase, right, as a consumer, because you're a gamer, but you're a consumer at the same time. So when you go to make this purchase, you don't know what's going to be on that console now. Okay, you know for a fact that Overwatch may not be there. You know Call of Duty may not be there. World of Warcraft may not be there. Fallout's not going to be there. Elder Scrolls is not going to be there. What's that other game? Starfield's not going to be there. So somebody would be fair to say, so you basically have Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, God of War, and The Last of Us. Now, to some people, right? To some people, those games are basically, you know, console sales, right? I can respect that. You see what I'm saying? I can respect them being console sellers to some people because some people really enjoy those games. You see what I'm saying? But to me, and to call it fair, when these guys had Spider-Man and Wolverine and stuff, I was like, man, Xbox need to do something. You know, they need to basically swing back. You know, I thought myself, go to DC, try to work something out. But when you look close, to tell you the truth, DC, for some apparent reason, I love Superman. You know, he's one of my favorite characters. Really, John Henry Superman, the one Steel. But when you look close, they're kind of in a state that they don't really know where they're going next. You know, you got the whole Wonder Woman thing that they don't know if she's going to be Wonder Woman anymore. You don't know if Superman is still Superman. You know, the only thing we know is the Flash is there, Aquaman's there. He has his movie coming out. The Flash movie's coming out. But now Ben Affleck isn't Batman anymore. And what you have to understand is a lot of people would say, well, what does this have to do with the Bethesda deal? You have to understand this same amount of money they put out could have maybe put a little bit more and bought DC outright, or at least bought the rights to certain things. But what you have to understand is basically now that this has been done, right, and they don't know who's going to be their characters in their movies, sometimes they don't want to make games. You see what I'm saying? Because of the fact that, like, do you notice that Spider-Man is kind of, and I give it to PlayStation, they bought the rights to Spider-Man right around the time that Spider-Man movies were coming out, right? So when you go watch the movie, of course you want to play the game, right? So they kind of were very smart with that. I think DC not knowing what's going to be in their lineup as far as heroes coming up, that's the reason why they're not pumping out games. And also it may not be a priority to them to pump out games. But at the same time, the reason why this matters, the Activision deal matters and the Bethesda deal matter is because now we know Fallout's coming to Xbox. Okay? Elder Scrolls is coming to Xbox. Starfield is coming to Xbox. Hell, I'm hoping for another Dishonored coming to Xbox. Right? Overwatch is going to be on Xbox. Call of Duty now is back home belonging to Xbox. You know, I play some Candy Crush. I've played it before. I have no problem with re-downloading it on my phone. Hopefully it can help with my damn Xbox gamer score, you know. But the thing about it was, and I'm going to jump into the next topic in a minute. The thing about it is, to answer it straight out, do I believe these games are going to be exclusive? I think there's a chance. I think that because the thing about it is, I think that there's a chance. A lot of people are like, well, Call of Duty sells this much on PlayStation, so, you know, if they cut it off, they're not going to get that money anymore. Do they care? Like, do you really think Xbox said when they bought Activision for $80 billion that they're like, oh, well, if PlayStation players can't buy it, they're not going to buy it? They're looking at this probably to bolster Game Pass. Hell, just being able to put all the previous Call of Duties and all the previous Activision games in Game Pass, they're set for a year. They could release Black Ops 1, 2, 3, Modern Warfare. They could release Overwatch 1. They could release all the Diablo games. They could re-release World of Warcraft. They could put StarCraft on this thing. So that's at least, what, maybe 7 or 8 games right there that could be spread out over the next 7 or 8 months and cover Game Pass. You know, not including the Bethesda games that they have in the works that are also going to be covered by Game Pass. So to me, to answer it honestly, yes, I do believe there is a chance. And I think the only reason why people are trying to downplay this, because I do hear it somewhat online, I think the only reason why people are trying to downplay this is because of the fact that they don't want it to be that way. But here's the thing. I didn't want it to be that way with Spider-Man. I didn't want it to be that way with Detroit Become Human. I didn't want it to be that way with the Wolverine game. But it is. Okay, so when you guys were doing it, and it was the happy-go-lucky thing, don't try to make us like everybody's talking all this legal mumbo-jumbo that they don't really understand, and they're talking crap about games. Now all of a sudden, because, you know, I talked earlier about Ubisoft making a subscription service for Xbox, and I talked about that. Now I guess everybody's, oh, Assassin's Creed is this, Assassin's Creed ain't this, it ain't that. And I'm like, that's not fair for me, because I'm going to tell you, I love Assassin's Creed games, okay? I recently just messed up a couple days ago and recorded an Assassin's Creed gameplay with the sound down. So, you know, I'm not going to post that, so there'll be more updates and content coming. But at the same time, to sit up here and say, you know, will they be exclusive? I don't work at Xbox. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm an Xbox ambassador. I have an Xbox console. I've been there since day one. I do my best to try to give out information on Xbox and Xbox-related news to the best of my abilities. But I don't like giving out false information. So if I had to guess, I believe there's a chance. I think that the reason why... Let me get a vape here. I'm going to vape real fast. I think that the reason why I don't have a problem with it is because, in a way, a lot of this wasn't started by Xbox. You know, like if you want to be technical about it, like Call of Duty map packs. You know, they put their map packs on PlayStation, and that's the route that they went. A lot of games would get exclusive content and map packs and different sorts of things to PlayStation. You know, Spider-Man is a world-renowned comic book character, but he was somehow or another locked down just to PlayStation. You got Wolverine, world-renowned character, not owned by Sony. For some apparent reason, that game, from what I can tell, is only releasing on PlayStation 5. So when you start a fight like this, right, or at least get involved in a fight like this, you have to understand that, yes, it comes down to war chest. And Xbox has the bigger war chest. So they went into the war chest. They went and basically purchased a very big game. And they're not concerned, like, prime example, and I'll break it down to you so you can kind of understand before we go to the next topic and I get you out of here. Look at it like this. There's 25 million subscribers to Xbox Game Pass, right? How many more do you think are coming now that Call of Duty is going to be in there? That all the Call of Duties are probably on the way. That Overwatch is going to be on the way. That World of Warcraft games are going to be on the way. StarCraft. You see what I'm saying? Diablo. How many people are going to say, man, if I get Xbox Game Pass, I get all these games? See, the myth that people are saying, it makes people believe not to buy games. Let me explain something to you. I paid full price I paid for the gold edition of Madden. I paid over $100 for the gold edition of 2K. I paid the gold edition of Battlefield 2042. I bought all the Assassin's Creed's as gold editions that released recently, okay? I am a person that buys games that I believe in or that I believe is going to be good. I bought Cyberpunk, okay? There's a lot of games that I will purchase, but for me, as Xbox gamers, to tell you the truth, I'm starting to become conditioned to not buying games like that. You know, Xbox is starting to realize that when you do the math, let's just do small math, okay? Let's just do a little quick little side math, right? If a game comes out at $70 and you got God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, and I don't know if The Last of Us is coming out, but I'm just going to give you that one. I'm going to say Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us, God of War, and Spider-Man, and Wolverine, right? So these are 5 games. So 70 times 5 gives you a total of $350. Now, none of these games are multi-platform in the sense of, you know, or I should say multi-platform. None of these are like massive open world multiplayer games. These are story-driven games. So when you spend the $350, right, you have this amazing kind of experience with the game, and you have this amazing time with it. But to tell you the truth, when it's over, it's over. You see what I'm saying? There's no period where it's like, okay, basically, I'm going to, like, how many people do you hear saying now, I'm going to go back and play Spider-Man? I'm still swinging around the city of New York. Or how many people do you hear saying, I'm still battling people in God of War? Or I'm about to play The Last of Us over again. You don't hear that because the game, don't get me wrong, to some people I notice are just console war stuff. You know, like they're good games, but then you try to use those to say, well, this is why they're better than Xbox. Okay, well, I'll tell you like this. They have EA Access, and now they have Call of Duty. So that whole shooter thing has kind of been taken care of. You see what I'm saying? Just to be honest, okay? Overwatch is one of the biggest esport titles to ever be out, okay? It's an international game, and that's another thing that they purchased. They purchased their way into the international market doing this, okay? Just some people are going to be like, which is understandable, some people are going to be like, I love Overwatch and I'm buying Xbox because of that. Some people right now, today, are getting up, packing up their PlayStation to take it into the store to get an Xbox Series S. Some people are still on the fence. They have PlayStation 4s. Hell, I just had an Xbox One not too long ago, and I was on the fence about which one I was going to get, the S or the X. But some people now are going to look at the S differently because not just based upon the graphics, the S or the X differently, not just based upon graphics, but because of the games that are going to come, what is coming down the road. You see what I'm saying? If your advertisement, like I heard something that Sony's response was a trailer for Horizon Forbidden West. Hey, that's cool. The game looks okay. Not really appealing to me. You know, I don't necessarily agree with it and stuff like that. I kind of like team games, and I don't really like things that are super tall and you're just swinging at their, you know, you just legs swinging at their shins and their kneecaps the whole time and stuff like that. And then you're underpowered. You know, just wasn't something I was really into, right? So the thing about it is, I do believe that there's capital for these games to be exclusive. I think that there's a probability that they will be. You know, I think there's a probability that essentially, like how Phil Spencer said, they're going to take it on a case by case basis with Bethesda. I think they're going to do the same thing with Call of Duty. I think the only reason why right now they cannot announce what they're going to do is because the deal is still finalizing. They are still going through the proper channels with the government to make this deal official. You just found out about the information because basically when this amount of money changes hands and a studio gets bought, everybody's going to be talking about it. But you have to understand that nobody called it. There was no insight, and it ain't just Xbox insiders. I'm talking everybody. All these dudes that I know, this person in gaming and this person works for this, and nobody called it. Nobody posted out something, oh, Xbox is buying Activision. Everybody thought they were going in a different direction. So to sit up here now and claim that you know what they're going to do with these games is a myth. I'm not going to do that. What I think is going to happen is, at bare minimum, I think that they are going to get us all the previous games into Game Pass. Now, will I wait for these games to come? Probably not, because you're talking June 2023. I can get what's the name of that game? I can get Call of Duty Black Ops for about $30. Black Ops 3 for probably about $30, $40, something like that, right? I'm not a fan of World War One and World War Two shooters. So basically, I won't be buying Vanguard, and hopefully the new Call of Duty that comes out is not based in World War One, World War Two. Hopefully, we're done with that. As far as Overwatch, like I told you, I have many hours in it. I just recently re-downloaded the original Overwatch, and I will be jumping back into that. Candy Crush, I'll probably put that back on my phone just to kind of jump back in there because I know there'll probably be new content coming to that now that they've been purchased as well. As far as StarCraft, to call it fair, I'm looking forward to Starfield. The one that's coming out from Xbox. But now that we have another space game in StarCraft, hey, I got the space. I got like 3 terabytes free and stuff like that. So just to say honestly, I think it's a good deal. And to wrap that question up, like I said, as far as do I think they're going to be exclusive, I think that there's a probability that they will. I think that basically it's a case by case basis, and we have to wait and see. But I do think there is a chance. I think there's a chance that these games are exclusive because a couple of people have said that they're going to be exclusive. And what happened, if I remember correctly, when they bought Bethesda, the first thing they did was they didn't say anything about the games. They didn't say if they were going to be exclusive. And then after the deal went through, like I want to say a month after the fact, they announced that a couple of these games are going to be exclusive to Xbox. So what could happen is they could do this now, right? And then next year claim, well, Call of Duty, or, and if it's happening in June, they could say around August, they could be like, well, Call of Duty is going to be exclusive to Xbox. Like everybody's talking about this Warzone thing. They could always make Warzone 2, and Warzone 2 is attached to the Call of Duty game, and you got to buy an Xbox. You have to understand that basically what some people are trying to ask to happen right now, they're being hypocritical. They want Xbox to share while PlayStation doesn't have to share. Like if you want to negotiate for Call of Duty, hand over Spider-Man. What's the difference? They both are mega selling games. They both are console sellers. Let's work this out. But see, people don't want it to be that way. They don't want it to be that PlayStation shares. They want it to be that everything Xbox gets, they share. Like, oh yeah, Xbox shouldn't have no exclusive. That's not how this works, okay? This fight was started in however way it started. I think it's a holdover, if I had to call it fair. I think the Xbox PlayStation war is the next generation war from Nintendo and Sega. I still remember when I was a child, and that's what we battled about in school. So I think we have to wait to see what's gonna come out from these deals. But I do think there is a opportunity for them to be exclusive. The last and final topic: what games am I looking forward to, and which ones are day ones? Okay, so if everything holds for me financially, because I always say that you never know what comes up. This is life. Okay, life ahead of gaming, family first, right? But if everything holds correctly, I'm looking at WWE 2K20 to day one that. Of course, Matt, 1 second. Had to take care of something there. So what I was saying was one of the main games I'm looking at. Well, starting off the year is I'm looking at WWE 2K20. Oh shoot, excuse me, I said 2K20. WWE 2K22. If everything holds, I plan on day one in that. I'm a big wrestling fan, have been since ECW, hardcore wrestling, right? Really looking forward to that. I've been catching up on my wrestling, watching Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. I'm going to be getting a WWE service to kind of watch the pay-per-views and stuff, so that way I can, know who's the mainline stars. Like I have the people I like is I like the villain I like Roman Reigns. I like Big E. Pause. This is about liking the wrestlers on WWE. Okay. I like Roman Reigns, Big E, Charlotte Flair, the Man Becky Lynch, and yeah, these are like my main. These are like my main people that I watch it for now. Now, a couple of years ago when I was watching it, I wasn't really attached to these superstars and stuff like that. But it's kind of renewed me watching the show and stuff like that. So I will be day one in WWE 2K22. Ahead of that, if I'm not mistaken, Saints Row comes out in August. That's a game that I'm looking at day one in. I love Saints Row. I've loved Saints Row. That, to tell you the truth, I love Saints Row more than I love Halo. Like when Xbox first came out and everybody was playing Halo, I was protecting the row in Saints Row. You see what I'm saying? It's just, it is the way it is. I like Halo. I love Halo too, but I got a deep rooted love with Saints Row, and I'm really looking forward to that game. I wish they said the game was supposed to come out in February. That's why I was really hyped to get this game, but they pushed it back to August, and I can't complain because typically they probably saw something that they needed to fix in the game and they needed to get right before it went out. So basically I can understand that. I can understand that they need to make the game perfect and things like that. I can't wait for it. Okay. I can tell you right now, while I'm sitting inside Madden 22, all things hold, I will be purchasing Madden 23 day one. Okay, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be called Madden 23 because this is 22 that you're watching. So I will be purchasing 23 day one. I will be purchasing NBA 2K23 day one. Because I purchased Battlefield 2042 this last Christmas, I'm gonna see about Call of Duty. I'm gonna wait to see what happens. If I'm guessing correctly, they're not gonna release a new Call of Duty this year. So I may not have to purchase that. But if you add it up, you got WWE, Saints Row, Madden, and 2K. There's already 4 games that I plan on purchasing outside of the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Those are my 4 games that I believe in that I know I would like. I love wrestling. I love Saints Row. I love sports games. So I do believe those are smart purchases. But at the same time, I'm going to be paying attention to how this integration works with them buying Activision and what it means for us for games, because I'm not necessarily going to wait till next year to catch up on Call of Duty, because the only real ones that I want to catch up on is Black Ops 3 and any other one that was set in a modern day world. So I will be doing a little bit more to actually catch up on those titles and be up to date by the time the new Call of Duty comes out. Now, I won't be buying Vanguard. I'm just not a fan of Vanguard. And I do believe that now that Xbox owns them, I think a lot of titles because I heard a lot of people mentioning the same thing I was mentioning, that because we missed a lot of Call of Duties that came out, those Call of Duties may be free in Game Pass next year, but at the same time, I don't want to wait a whole year to play Black Ops 3. I didn't get Black Ops 3 because of the fact that I bought Battlefield, and I was waiting till Black Ops 3 fell a little bit because I know that the multiplayer probably isn't there. Like, a lot of people aren't probably playing the multiplayer, so I would basically be paying for the story. And I'm okay with don't get me wrong, I'm okay with $60 for the game, but because the game is so older, I would prefer to pay a little bit less. That's just the style of gamer I am. If I can get a deal on the game, I will. And at the same time, I have the hard drive to keep it going. I just downloaded Black Ops 2. I'm pretty sure I finished the story. If I didn't, I will be doing that, and that will be posted. But I'm going to get you guys out of here, guys and gals out of here. I want to thank you for listening to the Aries Alert Show, chilling with me, Salt Aries. I just want to say thank you for coming in today. Hopefully, I was able to give you the facts and give you some of the opinions that you're not hearing, especially from somebody that owns an Xbox, somebody that owns the memberships, somebody that plays the games, someone that has been on the console since day one, and also somebody that doesn't own a PlayStation. Yes, if you do not know, I do not own a PlayStation at all. Not because they're a bad console, but because I'm an Xbox and Nintendo guy. So when I go to talk to you, this is not coming as a jab towards PlayStation. It's coming from a love of Xbox. So, like I said, I hope I've enlightened you today. Like the title of the show goes, hopefully Aries alerted you today. Thank you for coming in, and have a great rest of your day. Peace.